The Children's Museum of the Lowcountry is inviting you and your family to put on your boots for a Farm-tastic Day. Down on the Farm Day is coming up next weekend at the museum, and you can celebrate all things agriculture with hands-on activities, adorable farm animals, and plenty of country fun for the whole family. Today we're joined by the president and CEO of the Children's Museum of the Lowcountry, Karen Coltrane.
And some friends.
And some adorable friends. Look at these.
Yeah, this is just something I grabbed out of the gift shop to give a sense of down on the farm day.
Yes.
And these have been selling, I think partly because we're kind of highlighting that this month. But we've got, and the duck and the bunny are both actually puppets.
I know, I want to put this on.
Yeah, so they're very super cute.
Look
and
at these.
yeah, see if I can do two things at once.
Perfect for Easter.
Perfect for Easter. Just spring in general.
They're
Everybody
so
loves a good puppet.
cute.
And I was saying before, these are Folk Manus puppets. I really love that brand. We try to make sure we have some cool things in the shop that not everybody has. Like we have our llamas recycled plastic bottles made from and different things. So
cute.
and you know, toys are made overseas, so people have been concerned about pricing and that kind of thing, but we actually do not charge sales tax. So you're always cheaper when you buy it with us, and we also don't usually have the same markup. So you know, if you have promised a treat, we're a good place to jump in and get one. So, but all themed. We try to theme. The farm nature tubes are fun, and the vet. Usually most children go through a vet phase.
Yes, I went through it. We've all been there.
That's right. That's right. So, so a celebration of animals and sort of why. You know, we've been doing these super celebration Saturdays we got the renewed museum and refreshed, and we're ready to show it off to everyone. And this one is in particular, the reason we chose this, besides spring and the theme that kind of makes sense, is that interaction with animals really does have a major impact on children. And you know, we see it a lot of times with children who are a little bit skittish of animals. And so what I like to do is introduce them to a very realistic stuffed animal, and then move to a very small animal, like a little, you know, gerbil or mouse or something, and work them up to a cat or a dog.
That's smart.
If they've got that, you know, sort of fear of it. But the studies that have rolled out over the years on the impact on children from interaction with animals and nature is just, it's indisputable. For example, people might not think about it, but empathy and social skills. So animals help children understand their own emotions. They understand caregiving a little bit. They can then, you know, if they have to put the water bowl down for the dog, mom puts the drink in the cup for them, you know, they start to be able to make those associations, and just generally cooperation. There are also huge emotional and behavioral benefits. If you've got a child that's a little stressed, or you start to notice that thing, animals calm them down. They do it for all of us. Blood pressure drops in the presence of, you know, an animal. I guess a nice animal. If it were an alligator, that would change my anxiety level. But the other thing too is green spaces. So I know a lot, it's spring break this week. A lot of people are out and about, which is fantastic. That actually helps children in a couple ways. It gives kids, are you ready for this, better working memory if they play outside.
What?
Yeah, they did studies where they gave kids you know, a lesson, had them play outside or not play outside, and then test them, and they do better if they've played outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so recess matters, right? If it's outside. Again, lower stress being outside. They call it grounding. If you can actually
touch grass
with your feet, right? That really helps, again, lower stress, and it builds up physical activity. So children are actually have less rates of obesity if they go to a farm or forest school. So we just see that being outside is just critically important to the human condition. So as much as we can get children to do that, and we live here in the Lowcountry where that's easy to do, so we're very fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, and it just creates amazing memories too. Like I just remember so many of my memories from growing up were just playing outside in the front yard or backyard with our neighbors or anything like that, you know? Like there's so much that will have a lasting effect.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, you know, it's funny, when I was pulling this research together to talk to you this morning, I was thinking about my father, who was in the news business and would escape every weekend. We went camping to the point where when I was 16 and had my own driver's license, it was like, stop, I'm not going out. You know, I want to do something with my friends. But he had me engaged in that for 16 years. And I really understand now, reading this research, how badly he needed that. He had a very busy week with everybody coming at him, and then he had that escape. So it really does, people, if they don't, you don't even need a study to kind of observe this in life.
Yeah, it's soothing.
Yes.
Soothing to be outside and hear the crickets and the birds and all of that.
Yep. And so, and the animals. So come on down to the museum. We're at spring break. We've been busy, but not crazy.
Okay, good.
So, you know, I think we had a day last year when it rained, and I don't ever want to do that again on spring break week. But it doesn't look like rain this week. It's been a nice, steady group, and we're excited to see everybody.
Yeah, well, we are excited, guys. Go to the Children's Museum and go take one of these kids home to your kids at home. They're so cute. And don't forget to head out to Down on the Farm Day, April 26th at the Children's Museum. We'll give you a little bit more information next week as well. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.